Anybody that is an advocate of this political Sharia, I don't have any business with you and no apologies to you. Until the North wake up, I am telling you, this is nothing but a problem in the waiting. Let me tell you something. If you think I don't know anything about Sharia, just like all these propagandists are coming to talk about, let me tell you something. Sharia have existed in northern Nigeria even before independence. The true Islamic Sharia. And how was this true Islamic Sharia? The fact that this was something just basically about divorce, marriage, inheritance, and to some certain extent, it translates to even guiding conduct in regards business. The profits, the gains you make, it should be reasonable. It shouldn't be that much or whatever. And as a result of that, that succeeded in giving the North a very good name. As at then, that is where you see people saying, Malam is contented. He has integrity. That is why even till today, when you go to some markets, you see people preferring to buy all these pepper, onions, whatever from a Malam, because they believe that they don't pursue too much gain and their things are much more cheaper. So that is the real Islamic Sharia that I know. No Hizbah was required. No state government pronouncement was required to pursue this thing. There wasn't anything like Hizbah to achieve this thing. The state was actually different from this. And as a result of that, people have this calmness, this acceptance, this satisfaction, this feeling of safety to come to the northern part, establish businesses, own houses, and do a lot of things, respecting all this and equally even benefiting from it. That is the real Islamic Sharia that I know. But what we have at the moment is a conquest ideology. Conquest ideology by extremists. And that is why they have to now deploy state resources and all other variables. And let me tell you, when you say some of this pronouncement is not Sharia, it's all about promoting morality, whatever. The fact is, they are beginning to take another dimension, having considered and seen the fact that this political Sharia will not fly with the existence of some of these laws that is at loggerhead with. And that is why they are now saying the state governors are trying to come and make pronouncements and provisions where there's no legislation. That is a total lie. That is just hiding under the disguise of this. And let's look at it. What do you think this political Sharia is going to bring to northern region apart from scaring people away? Scaring people away that are supposed to come and do trade, transactions, and promote development. And if you say you even want to promote morality, whatever, and now you are even setting like that is your own police, while other people are having police to actually see into real issues like insecurity or whatever in their regions, we're interested in morality. Abi? So in all the problems in northern Nigeria, it's morality that is much more important than insurgency, insecurity, and the rest of it. Come on, you need to wake up from all these things. Stop allowing politicians to use your head while they are embezzling. And they are now scratching that part of you that they know is vulnerable, which is religion, trying to make you look as if they are actually pushing this to promote your religion or whatever. That is just a divisive tool and a conquest ideology that will keep you enslaved for a very long time. Because ask yourself this. How many of them, the proponents of this political Sharia, have their children actually witnessing some of these realities, even in the country? A lot of them, their children are outside the country. And they are trying to promote this now that will result in... Why do you need to force it? Why do you need to force it on other people? The next conversation is, it doesn't affect non-Muslims or whatever. Yes, of a truth. The real Islamic Sharia that I know, I am telling you, even if the whole Nigeria is doing that real Islamic Sharia, it will never affect a person that is not a believer of that. Evidently, it has shown. But now, what do we have? State governors, states are hiding under the disguise of morality and pushing a political Sharia as a divisive tool just to achieve their agenda. And you are now coming to tell me that, no. The next thing you talk, you say you don't like Islam. You don't like Islam or whatever. If you know, if you even know the true Islam that is supposed to be, I'm telling you, you distance yourself away from this. And I'm telling you sincerely, anybody that is an advocate of this political Sharia, I don't have any business with you and no apologies to you. Until the North wake up, I am telling you, this is nothing but a problem in the waiting.
This is one of the problems that I have with Sharia law in Nigeria. It is the fact that Nigeria itself is a secular state, right? And if these people are making rules of law, when they want to actually make these rules, they will make it known that it is only for their people. It is only for their people. But whenever these rules actually get out to the general public, it becomes for everybody. Yobe State is about 75 to 80% Muslims, but there is a minority percent of 20%. Now, the Yobe Isba is actually banning men and women interaction together, that they cannot actually see men and women that are not married together, talking together each other, private conversation in vehicles and public gathering. Imagine that kind of rule. In 2025, big 2025, these are the kind of rule that they are actually implementing. They are not implementing what will actually benefit towards education, towards empowerment, towards employing, and it also caution against private conversation between men and women under the guises of chatting, particularly in the way not sponsored by Sharia. And to be very honest, in as much as these people actually want to bring up this rule, this is what will actually affect the minority. For all vehicles, in all public spaces, with all private chats, you guys will always say you want this thing. Okay, if these people say they actually want it, because of course they are the majority, right? But what happens to the minority? Then whenever you make a rule of law, it must surely affect them because they are not much, about like just 20 or 30%. They say it is your people that you are banning people from, that your people that are actually into this, that if you see your people that are into private chat or public chat, let it be. Not that whenever you now want to make rule of law, you now actually pack every one of them together. It doesn't make sense to me. Now making a rule of law, let it be to yourselves alone.
Abolish the Sharia law in Nigeria. There is a certain tranquility in the North. If you notice it, there is a certain calmness, quietness in the North. Presently, nobody's saying anything. Everywhere just silent, like say, now where people die. If you read the body language of that region now, you can tell that something big has happened to them. The last time we experienced this kind of tranquility in that region was, I don't know if you remember, it was during the time of election. When every other region had completed their voting process, everybody don't vote. They've in fact been able they've collected everything together, and then it was remaining the North. What were they doing that time? Can you remember? When it was being alleged that rigging is going on over there right now. That was the time we experienced this kind of tranquility. Now, let me tell you something. You see, after that speech Trump made, designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern, the next thing Tinubu did was, bam, he entered the plane and then he ran to America. He was going to see Donald Trump so that at least they can have this normal, one-on-one talk, political talk where they bring Wayo. He went there. Trump said, man, he doesn't want to see him. He should get the H back, that he doesn't want to see him. If he wants to go and see his vice, J.D. Vance, he can go and see him. J.D. Vance said, man, to hell, I don't want to see him either. Tinubu can enter plane, return back. And then they saw it, how this man, Trump, meant all that he said, that he was very serious. But they were not relenting. Tinubu and his team, or the presidency rather, were not relenting. What did they do? They have to send somebody. They sent one of the, the ministers, right? Ribado. And then when he got there, he was able to assess at least some of the ministers in America. Do you know what they told him? They told him, these 4 tasks we are going to give to you. Number 1 is go to the citadel of Sharia in Nigeria. That's Sokoto. Go and abolish it. And number one, tell your president, number one, that is abolish the Sharia law in Nigeria. Number two, proscribe those people sponsoring these men. Proscribe them. And then, now Nigeria won't play your games. But you see, we don't actually know them. You see, we are working close hand in hand with security operative to fish them out. America says, hold it there. We know them. We have them. These are the list. They took the list and they gave it to him. These are the people. A lot of them operated in Buhari's government. Many of them are sponsors. Many of them are negotiators. Many of them got access to our funds, Nigerian money in Nigeria, in order to fund the activities of those people. He said, go and proscribe them. That is the second task. And then the third task is you must disarm every bandit, in fact, whether they're bandit or whatever, disarm them. Then at least, so that if they are making, their plans on how to, whether or not to set boots on the ground or to launch Tomahawk, so that those options can be very, very easy for them. That was the third one. And then the fourth one, they said, well, put an end to corruption. Although I know that that one may be like, cockapoo story. But the most important one are those three. Number one, abolish the Sharia. Because as you stand now, you people do not know that you have two constitutions in Nigeria. Yes, they only made you feel as if Sharia is under the main constitution. But let me tell you, Sharia supersedes your constitution, whether you like it or not, believe it or not. America said, go and abolish it. These people, you have to expose them and then proscribe them. And then the third one, disarm the bandits. And then Ribadu was like, man, wow, this one go hard. He came back. Of course, he passed the message to the president and then passed it to his own master too, because you people do not know. You thought you have one president. The Sultan of Sokoto is the second leader. He is more like a president of the North. If you don't know, they passed the message to him. Say, well, if you don't do it, abolishing the Sharia, we will do it. They were like, you will do it. How will you do it? Will you come? Do you know how long Sharia have been here? Will you come all the way from America? He said, well, we have a method. What do? We are going to push a bill. And this bill, what this bill will do is, it will proscribe that region. When you proscribe that region, meaning proscribing a region means you have designated that region to be a 100% breeding ground for terrorism. Every activity that goes on there is terroristic in nature, including administration, including any kind of, whether a religious administration, governmental administration, anything that happens there. Then what happens next? Bombs will begin to fall there like rain. Bombs will start to fall. That was what they said. And then when Ribadu got to Ribadu, related it to the Sultan of Sokoto, and then Sultan of Sokoto raised alarm. Say, make una come, ya Allah, make una come. This is what they want to do. They want to proscribe this region and then start to rain bombs here. Because what that will do is it will destabilize that region. Every structure that has been put in place in that place will be scattered, including the dynasty of that Sultan himself. The Sultan is aware of that. That is why when you saw them, when they finished all this bombing, they were like, why did they go to Sokoto and start to throw bombs there? Why didn't they go to Benue or Plateau, the hub of where these people is? People do not understand that if you are sailing on a river or a sea, and then your boat seems to be getting filled with water, the wisest thing to do that moment is not even to start to bail out water. It is to go to that very point where you see water is coming in. If not chewing gum, you get, use it to block that place, and then it becomes very easy for you to remove the water. That is exactly what America did. They are not stupid. So after all these things now, they were like, okay, since you cannot do it, we will do it. And then you see Ted Cruz, now they started. He immediately pushed the bill. He pushed the bill for them to, every law that propagates blasphemy. You go talk this one, they will say you don't blaspheme. Then the next thing they buy you. You talk this one, they say, hey, you don't abuse a social person. They go buy you. You talk this one, they will say it's against the ethics of Islam. They will kill you. He pushed the bill for all these things to be abolished. If they cannot, they will use tomahawk, take abolition. That is the post you're seeing here. This was carried by Premium Times. And it's all over the place on the internet. So right now, as I'm speaking with you now, this bill is there. So this tranquility you see in the note, a lot has happened. They have seen it that these very fabrics, the very foundation, the very fabrics of to which that particular Sokoto is being placed is shaking. The foundation is shaking. Because when the man who came into Nigeria migrated all the way from Guinea to Niger, and then from Niger to Nigeria, that is the man of Uthman Danfodio. He was okay, let us say professionally he was a teacher because he was the one who brought in this same Sharia and started to teach the contemporary Hausa people the language. But originally he was a seller of, he sells duck and this guinea fowl. That is what he sells. Seeing Nigeria as a bigger market, whenever he comes to Nigeria, he sells very well. And then that was where the whole notion that moving into this place, taking over it, came into mind. And being a very close place to Niger, you can easily walk in. Yes, you can easily walk in. Like you saw when they decimated the bandits, they were all running to that place. There is no, it's not like you have maybe a sea dividing them. No. It is just like the way you see Ogun State, you see Lagos. That is how this Sokoto, that northern area is to the neighboring countries. So, when this man came in, Uthman Danfodio, he brought in and then tried to, refurbish the Islam there. That was where he took over and then started to be the leader of that place. This is a migrant. And then these people now, from then, claim that the land belonged to him. So when you see them say, one na kasa no Uthman Danfodio ni, one na say na Uthman Danfodio geri na in town. That is the notion that these people have bred themselves with all these years that gave birth to this banditry that we all are suffering today. There is this guy, Nnamdi Kanu, the guy who is presently imprisoned in that Sokoto. That was the very first, statement he made. That said, well, if you want to keep Sharia, if you want to have Sharia, it's not a bad thing. Sharia, no problem. You can keep Sharia to yourself. For those of us who are not into it, who are not interested, we can be on our own. But we go trade as union or we do things as union, but no longer as a country. Yes. European Union is European, EU itself is more like a country, but they are union. You can keep your Sharia. If you go to Malaysia, it's a very beautiful country. I don't want to talk about Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar. Those ones that we know we are not on the same level at all. I don't want to go there. I'm just going to the places where we at least will say we're on the same level. Go to Morocco, go to Malaysia, Indonesia. Those are as pure Sharia countries. They are Muslim countries. Go and see whether this level of backwardness is existing there. That was where this whole problem started from. They now claim that they must throw that Sharia on you. Whether you like it or not, we must grab you, drag you, enter. We must subject you under their rule. Which means the constitution to which you are being governed is useless. Of course, it is useless to them because go and set up a show business in that area and see what they will do to you. Go there and see whether your constitutional right covers you in that area. These are the bedrock of what we are suffering in that country. And not until they remove it, believe me, all these things will still come back. They may go to sleep now as if, they have been decimated, waiting for just 4 years after Trump comes out and then maybe one of the Democrats enters. Democrats, definitely everybody knows they are their sympathizer. That banditry was able to grow today. We know the role Obama played in it. Yes. If you don't support something directly, you will support it indirectly. This man frustrated Jonathan from getting weapon to do the job. So what do you call that? So we know the role Democrats plays as far as when it comes to these people advancing their cause. It is not by force that you must live together in a country where you are going to be, decimated every day or you're going to be killed every day. No, it is not. If it doesn't work, they can be on their own and have their Sharia. Very perfect.
Hi, welcome back, my people. I hope a lot of you have heard everything now where don't they go on here concerning this Sharia of a thing. Though there's no deed that even the Ariwas too are not complaining about Sharia even yesterday that we were here, we dropped something concerning this Sharia too, and you guys have heard what the Ariwa guys has said, because he says that if the North never wanted all these things to just be abolished out of the North, they should just give them their own country. That is what they said yesterday, and today again the same thing has been replicated. If you know what is going on here, it's the same thing we've been talking about that is still going on here, because anything they don't work cannot work. If you try this thing in the north right and it didn't work there, you cannot just come to force it upon the people in the south, because I think the way you guys are doing it now, you guys are gradually bringing this thing to the south now, and if nobody talk about it, it will be like, it will be expand, because the thing is already expanding. If you know what everyone here has said, it's not as if everybody now is coming to go against the North or go against their own decision in everything they are doing. But what they are telling them is this: they are telling them that if the North never wanted to like accept or abolish the Sharia, things they are practicing there, then they should just agree now that let them just do their own thing in the North alone, and never include the South as being part of them. That this North and South of a thing that this amalgamation has joined together is one of the things that is making everything or every problem now to just keep rising, because had it been there was nothing like North and South amalgamation, by now nobody will be talking about this their own Sharia. What you'll be doing is to just be hearing what they are doing in their own side. But now that everything is joined together, there is nothing you can be doing from that edge that is not going to like touch or affect people in this place. So that is why it seems like people now are hating you or coming against you people. Thank God it's not ordinary people that are just doing this. It is people that have experienced this thing in your region, people that have stayed in your region before, and people that are citizen or that are being born or that were born in your region that are seeing this. So all this thing now, it is time for you people now to start looking into this, because anything that their own person now has started like condemning, that thing is not a good thing. So that is why I say that most of you now should start, look into this situation, so that it won't cause any, disagreements between you and the South, because the South now are already disagreeing with many of you from the North now, because it seems like Nigeria is already dividing according to what I am, seeing from this edge. So that is just it for now. And for those of you that have something to let us know, just drop it below. Thank you.